Everyone, this is Chris Keys for Premier Guitar. Special day here. We got a day to remember with us. Neal, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
Excellent, man. And special in the sense that we could kind of, I guess, semi-release the news of a signature model that people are going to get their hands on real soon from ESP. Talk to me about how this came about.
It's been in the works for a long time. When we were recording Common Courtesy, which I think has been almost 5 years ago now, that was the reason I decided to go with ESP rather than like bringing all of my like Gibsons and my Fenders or my personal collection on the road, is because they promised to do a signature guitar, and that's something that I've always wanted to do since I started playing guitar. Is like nothing ever really was exactly what I needed. And I would always like kind of Frankenstein stuff together, and I was like, will you guys give me a signature? Will you make me what I need? And they're like, yep, absolutely. And then I went through a couple different people at ESP, like a couple different reps, and then finally Tony at ESP now, he's the one that's kind of making it happen, and it should be ready in NAMM this year. We're gonna release it.
You were speaking about Common Courtesy. I know that on that you used the Fender Jim Root Strat and other guitars. I know that you've been mostly single cut tie with ESP before the 400. What kind of things that you specifically were looking for to make this your guitar?
So I grew up wanting to be in Blink-182. It was like, I think probably everyone my age probably at least learned one of their songs, but I always loved the single pickup, single knob, like volume knob setup, and I play mostly rhythm in this band, and that's all I really need, and just a good bridge pickup and let it scream. Before
that though, because this is the bare knuckle that you have here, you were pretty partial to EMGs.
Yeah, I used, so I think the best part about EMGs is you can put it pretty much in any guitar and it will sound the same. So it could be a piece of crap wood and it sounds great, and that's kind of what we used when we didn't have a lot of money. I played some Schecters that were kind of not the best piece of wood, but if you put an EMG in it, it sounded great.
Is that why you would use that or the other ESPs for touring guitars rather than bringing out your other ones, just because you knew each night from each room you would have consistent tone?
Yeah, that's very important, especially when you're running in-ears, like everyone will, it's like very close to like, oh, something's different, it's weird, and so that's kind of what has led us to making the decisions we make now as far as our rig, so.
How did you come about Bare Knuckle? Because that's a kind of, they're coming up, but they're a British company, so it's not maybe on the forefront of people's minds for pickups.
So we did a tour with Bring Me the Horizon, and Lee from Bring Me the Horizon, he was playing the, I can't remember what the pickup he was playing. It was the, it was one of the heavier sound, War Pig, I think is what it was. So it was like a super gritty, large sounding pickup, very aggressive. And I love the dynamics that he had. Like he was able to get all these different tones from 800 and that one pickup. So I wanted to give it a couple of tries. So I wrote the guys at Bare Knuckles, and I was like, this is what my current sound is, and this is what I'm looking for. What could you do for me? What is there? And he's like, I would suggest you try the Aftermath. That's a very tight sounding pickup, and then a Juggernaut, that's kind of a bigger, more aggressive sounding pickup, but it still has the tightness of an EMG, I guess. And so, that's kind of what.
Which one did you end up going for? Which one than this one?
This is in my signature. It's the Aftermath, and that's the one I use for most of the set. It's what I use in all of our C tuning, drop C tuning. Okay. And then I have a Juggernaut in the drop A sharp, which, if everything goes well with this model, then we're going to release the baritone model in the future, and maybe a different colorway, a different pickup configuration. Cool. So, yeah.
And what's the thought process behind having just straight volume? Is it because you don't want to have any mess ups with your switching between pickups or hitting the volume knob or tone knob, or is it just you think it's more powerful and punchy and direct pure signal?
It's all I use.
So you're just like, why have it?
Yeah, I mean, for up until Common Courtesy, I didn't even use an effects pedal. I literally, it was just straight in, and it was straight from the pickup, volume pedal or volume knob, and then straight into the amp, and that's all I really used.
And so on Common Courtesy, you use the tube screamer?
I use the tube screamer always, but I guess I never used any other effect. I never used any like delay or reverb before that. But on Common Courtesy, we started throwing a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb, and I started like using that more. And now it's kind of like on the new album, I use it a lot more. But I still only use the bridge pickup. Yeah.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure if for anything else, it'll hopefully keep the cost down for people that want to pick it up, you know?
That was kind of another thing about this guitar is I figured that I could kind of splurge on the pickup and the electronics since there's only one of each.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the best pickup you can get, I think, for what I'm trying to do, and the best pot for what I'm trying to do. And you know, everything else is exactly the way I want, and we didn't have to spend a ton of money to do it. So,
do you know offhand, since you mentioned the pot, is it like a 250K or a 500? Is there
it's a 500K. It's kind of, since I use it for dynamics, it's built to kind of like roll into the full tone, and then you can like back it off to get more of a clean tone.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a 500K. I think I'm not sure what they actually ended up doing for the production, but what I wanted, it was based off of the RS Super Pot. That's what I sent them. I was like, it has to be like this. And, but yeah, I'm not sure the actual one that they ended up going with, but that's what the idea is.
Gotcha. I'm sure the wizards at ESP worked it out.
Yeah, yeah.
And so what about for strings?
Strings are Ernie ball, not even slinky on my C. And then like the other tunings, we use different setups, but all are Ernie ball. Not even slinky, I think it's 56 through 13? 12? Yeah, 56 through 12.
Thick, man.
Yeah. Well, our highest tuning is drop C, so
yeah.
And that was another thing about this guitar is a lot of the Les Paul use like the 24-75 neck scale, I think, and this is a Fender neck scale. It's like a 25.5.
Okay.
And then the baritone is 27.7.
Is that to keep the tension up?
Yeah, that was something we always struggled with playing in those lower tunings, you know, and so it's finally something that's exactly what I need for what we do.
And now hopefully it'll be something other people can have too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's the trend. A lot of bands are playing in lower tunings, and I think that they could, if they play rhythm or if they just want to have a very stripped back guitar, this would be perfect for them. So
with the killer pickup too.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go through the rest of your guitars. I know you got a couple other the signature white ones, but I see a bevy of ESPs over there.
I still have the Jim Root. I still have that out.
Oh, yeah. What do you bring that out on? Is it
it's a backup? Yeah, I use it for my backup, and then if I still use that, and then if I have a song where I need the neck pickup, this has aftermaths in it as well. I put those in there, and then yeah, there's the beginning of a song that I use the neck pickup, so I use that for this song, and then
cool.
And then the rest are like, I have the other kind of prototype. This is the baritone prototype. It still has the EMG in it.
Okay.
We haven't changed it out yet, but we just ordered another Juggernaut from Bare Knuckle, and they're sending it. But
are you pretty set on the color with the flame?
Not necessarily. Like that was something that they suggested. They're like, we should try this. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. I kind of like more of like the flat.
Yeah. Single.
But this was just something that we wanted to try out, and it was like the first custom that they made for me. So I just knew that I wanted it to be the schematics and measurements are all to scale with the 74 Les Paul.
Okay.
So like, except for the configuration of the electronics, but like everything else is the same, like the neck radius, type of like the spacing between frets and everything like that. And
how did you zero in on that guitar specifically, being the one to be kind of like the
I always loved Randy Rhoads, and when I was growing up, I would always like get like musician's friend in the mail, you know, like, and I would just drool over this white Les Paul that was in there. It was like a 74. I think they wanted like 10 grand for it, and I was just like, man, I'll never have that guitar. And like, I always just like, I loved it. It's like, that's the reason why those are white. And like that, my first guitar that I ever had built from Gibson was, it was like a white Les Paul custom, and it was because of that guitar. So I've always been kind of in the search of just trying to have that guitar.
Yeah.
I still don't think I could bring myself to spend 10 grand on it, but all of the specs are that. So it's like, this is what that guitar should feel like, you know.
To you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's about it for guitars.
Yep. And then we have this other one that we like. Yeah, we
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is kind of like, so they sent us the baritone and it wasn't what we needed, so we kind of Frankensteined it, like I said. It's just, this is the one that has the juggernaut in it. But yeah, we kind of relicked it ourselves and took all the electronics out and kind of did like,
Staples in it too.
yeah, there's some staples in it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say, bring out the tone.
We were on tour with Blink and Travis Barker's son. We'd always hang out every day. He's like 13-year-old Landon.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, we're relicking the guitar. I was like, you want to come like hit it with a hammer or, you know, like scratch it up? He's like, yeah. And he's like,
What kid wouldn't want to hit something?
I know. That's like, and so he like put some staples in it. So these are from Landon. And then Max, my guitar tech, signed it in the back.
Nice.
Their guitar tech, Johnny, signed it. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Right on. So moving to amps, or what would be amps, you have the Kemper stuff.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you said a couple tours now that you've been doing this stuff. Talk to me about the transition from, I know you used to be a 5150, I've seen you with Bogner's, Engels. How have you gotten to the Kemper world?
So it was essentially, it was just because of shipping costs. Like it would cost us an insane amount of money to get all of our stuff from tour to tour. If we were playing in Europe and then a month later we were playing in Australia and then we're playing in the States, getting that stuff everywhere is very expensive. So
it's a way to save that 10 grand now.
Yeah, exactly. So we were in the studio at the Blasting Room. We were recording Bad Vibrations with Jason Livermore and Bill Stevenson. And they had some experience with Kemper before, and they were like, you know, on records we don't have time for, we use Kemper, and I was like, and then records that we have a lot of time for, we'll go in and get all of our tones, and that's what we did. So I literally shipped all of my amps to Colorado, and so I had like I had the Bogner Ecstasy 20th anniversary. That's like my baby. That's what all of my tones are pretty much based off of. That, and then 5150. 350 watt.
Okay, is that the EVH one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have a JCM 800 with the tube screamer, and then 100 watt. It's like the stealth EVH.
Okay.
Yeah, we got that one on there too. So and then Toneville. That's like what all of our clean tones and all of our affected tones go through, the Tonevilles. But yeah, we just sat in the studio, A-B'd the Kemper with the real amp until they sounded almost identical.
Yeah.
Took about 10 hours running it all through their SSL and all their preamps and stuff. And then when we couldn't tell a difference, we were like, well,
we're there.
We can use these, we can bring them on tour, and it's something, we are gearheads. Like we have, I think between Kevin and I, we have like 30 amps.
Damn.
And like probably like 20 different cabs, and it's our warehouse at home is just filled with it. So we were not going to use it unless it sounded exactly the same, and we got it to where it was close enough you couldn't tell a difference.
And you guys had already been using in-ears.
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything while using the Kemper now with in-ears, or is it pretty much similar, or you have heard differences?
We absolutely have heard difference. So in different rooms, like if you play in an arena or if you play in a room or a club or a really hot bar or whatever, your sound changes. So like it's all based on a microphone and what sounds bouncing off of places. With the Kemper, we just DI in and it simulates a cab, the cab that we profiled or emulated or whatever it's called, I'm not sure, but and it sounds the same every single day, nothing changes. So no matter what size room you're in, you get the same exact sound. It's honestly incredible.
It probably gives you a little less headache, and your sound guy has plenty of options.
Yeah, it's crazy because before we would sit here and argue for like 20 minutes before we started sound check. And now it's just walk in, perfect every time. It's amazing.
It's a load off your mind, I'm sure. That you perform even probably a lot easier too.
I think if it's something that young bands should definitely look into, because no matter where you're playing, you can have the same exact sound.
Yeah.
And that's important.
And it's a high cost up front, but I'm sure it'll pay for itself. And like you said, shipping costs. And
you don't have
stuff
to
like
pay for tubes. You don't have to pay for new speakers if you blow a speaker. You don't have to pay for any of those like extra costs that you would have to pay for with using a real amp, but you still get the sound of a real amp because you stole the tone.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
We talk about sucking the souls from the amps. That's what we joke about.
Dude, Neil, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
man.
We're going to talk to the rest of the bands. Congrats on the signature model, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, still in the same spot. New guy, Josh. Josh, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you, man?
Very well.
Awesome.
As you can see here, he's a bass player.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about this bass, and apparently there's a funny story. So
Yes.
lay it on me.
You asked me to get out my main bass, and the one I've been using for years and years and years, toss it around the stage and everything. Someone has hurt their hands trying to catch my bass, like so many times now. Like 4 different people have been injured trying to catch it. So I was like, what can I do to be a little crazy, do something weird at the end of the show?
Yeah.
So in Montreal, just a week ago, I gave my bass out into the crowd. Just took it off and put it in the crowd. Obviously it was chaos, people were going crazy. Bass got shredded, ripped all up and everything.
Oh, wow.
Just bent, neck got all bent and everything. My guitar tech fixes it, gets it all ready for the next show in Toronto. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. I did it again. And I put it in the crowd and
Same result?
Yeah, they broke it into 4 different pieces and just divvied it up to kids. So I thought it was cool. It's something I've had for a long time. Thought it would be special to give. I think some little girl got a piece and she loved it and was so happy.
I mean, I've caught drumsticks before. I've caught picks, obviously, but I've never caught or had pieces of shrapnel, or I guess in this case a bass, in my hand.
Yes.
So that's a cool souvenir.
For sure. I got in a little trouble though, because I think it was literally like a mini riot, in the crowd to get this thing. So.
You got in trouble by band or crew members, or venue?
Not band or crew. No one here. Everyone thought it was silly and just maybe a little
fun.
Crazy. But yeah, I think the venue was just he can't do that. He cannot do that. So
I'll remember that next time.
Exactly. So
to get into specifically, you got the Ernie ball.
Yes.
This is Sterling, or the Stingray. I'm sorry,
Stingray. Yes. And I actually have not really been playing this one much at all. Didn't even know I had it. He brought it out of the vault, and I love it. So this is what I'm using now as my C tuning, and this bass, I have flame maple necks, and this actually is the bird's eye maple neck.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I love it. I love the way it feels, more so than just maple with the lacquer on the back or whatever. So I don't know, this was better fit for me. And
is there anything that you've done to it, or is it just pretty much stock?
This is stock out of the gate. Yeah, I only have one bass that's really been messed with. It has a little contouring, but nothing actually with any of the internal stuff at all. So.
And like Neil, a single pickup, you have no need for a neck or anything like that?
No, yeah, it's pretty basic.
Pretty
just
simple?
Run it, fit it in the Kemper, and it rips.
Aside from damages to other basses, how did you get into the Ernie Ball or Stingray family? I've seen you with Fender basses, the Getty,
for sure,
and the Hoppus. So how have you gotten into this family?
For sure. I think I grew up liking Fender, so that's what I owned first. And then whenever it got to a certain level with the band, where a couple companies were we'll send you stuff.
Yeah.
I just had Mike from MXPX played on my. I thought that was awesome. He's an awesome bass player, so I was yeah, we'll try him out, and I just haven't looked back. Loved it. They're a great company. They hooked me up, so just been an awesome relationship.
Cool, that's right, man. What about strings? I imagine Ernie Ball also.
Yeah. Running. What do we? I know this is probably not good to look back over here and ask him. What are our gauges at?
We're doing the purple pack here.
Purple pack.
We changed to be.
Bam.
Nice.
Power Slinkies.
Power Slinkies. There we go. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah.
Do you know? Do you have a preference? I know sometimes bass players will leave them on for a long time, or is it just every night type of deal?
I think it's. Is it every other day?
The main C gets it every other day.
Okay.
The other one's every other day.
So every 2 days. So
Yeah.
pretty often. You like clean new strings?
Exactly. Yeah. I really do not like dead sounding. You can feel it. You can just tell. So no, I like them fresh. Yeah.
And when it comes to playing, are you using picks or kind of mixing it up, picks and fingers?
Yeah, just picks. Only ever played picks.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably gives you that aggressive tone.
Exactly. A little bit of action with the digging into it for sure.
Right on. And this is again where we would transition into amps.
Yep.
Again, you don't have an amp.
No.
Which this is the first time I think me and Pay were talking that we don't have an amp of some sort or a DI. This would be the first bass player we ever had at Kemper.
That's awesome. Yeah. Mark Hoppus, he swore by it and we thought it was awesome, and it's insane. I don't know if any of the other guitar players in my band talked about it, but it saves us so much money on shipping.
Yeah.
$15,000 a year. And yeah, it's a lot on freighting because amps and stuff, that's crazy, And we don't run any cabinets on stage or anything, so it's literally just a vault with all of our Kempers in it, and that's it. That's all that needs to be shipped.
And the coolest thing that you were saying off camera is that Neil has dived in and he got all the tones that he needed from his old amps.
Yep.
You went off a preset.
Exactly. Yeah, it was an Ampeg head that was
a little
already
tweaking, but nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, just found something that had a little grit, a little bit of distortion with it. It's what I've always loved bass sound wise.
Yeah.
So it was just simple. Let's use
so
it.
it was I think you guys were saying it was an Ampeg preset or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty simple rig, but loving it, and I love the way everything sounds. Ernie Ball and Kemper kills, yeah.
Lean and mean, man.
Yeah, man.
Josh, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We're gonna talk to Kevin. All right, last but not least, definitely not last but not least, Kevin. Kevin, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Excellent. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, sure.
Talk to me about your guitar here.
This guitar I got about a year ago, and I wanted to do some custom stuff with PRS because I've been playing their guitars now for 4 years.
Okay.
They take really good care of me over
Yeah.
there. And everyone who works over there, like Rich and everybody's really awesome. But I wanted to do just a couple, just custom ones, just to see how they came out, just because I wanted stuff for myself. And I really like Randy Rhoads from
Yeah.
Ozzy. I know Neil probably.
Yeah, Neil shared some love too.
Neil showed some love, but yeah. So I got the polka dots and the kind of Oreo pickups, kind of like he had, and I got them tattooed on my arms. So
Is that
this is my little tribute to him.
That's perfect, man. What do you got for the pickups? Are those like designed by PRS? Or
Yeah, these are the PRS something 15, 58, 15.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
85, 15.
Paul, I know.
85, 15s. Yeah.
Paul's very particular about numbers, and yeah. So like I
Yeah.
think 15 is the year, and then 58's like after like a PAS style.
Yeah,
pickup.
yeah. So I have the 85, 15s in all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of strings are you using?
This would be my drop C guitar, and these ones are the beefy slinkies, I believe, that are 11 to 54. Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah, 11 to 54. And then on Bs, I use 12 to 56. And then we have a few drop A songs where we use a custom gauge.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And how did you get into the PRS family? I've seen you prior to that was with Sewer, and then
yeah.
before that, I know obviously with Neal, you've been seen with the ESPs too.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
I was
when
with
it first
ESPs
came out.
and I was with Gibsons for a little bit. And
So
then I was-
how did you kind of make that shift between what you needed as a guitar player, but also with the family of the company that you're dealing with now as PRS?
Well, I was kind of looking for guitars that were more lightweight, just because after playing Les Paul Customs for
Yeah.
years, like my back just started giving out.
Yeah, I bet.
And I think someone at PRS hit up our management company and was like, "Hey, does anybody want to try out some PRSs?" And so they sent me a SC 245 or something like that,
Yeah.
the single cut. Mm-hmm. And I tried that out, and I just loved the way it played, and it was really nice, and it was still a little heavy. So I was like, can I try the double cutaway? And this one just feels good.
Yeah.
So that's how I switched over to them. Yeah.
So is the main, because with Sewer you were kind of playing the double cutaway also?
Yeah,
Mainly.
it was kind of the Strat style guitars.
So is that more of a weight thing with that, or were you?
Yeah, it was more of a weight thing.
Gotcha.
And I grew up playing Strats too.
Okay.
Like Stevie's like my all-time
Yeah.
favorite.
Another guy in the arm.
Yeah, I have a million of them like that. I got Jimmy up here, and it's crazy. But yeah, so I just wanted to try out a Strat again, just because I was playing Les Pauls for so long. I was like, well, what's the exact opposite? Okay, I'll go with Strat body.
And why didn't you? From what I can tell, you don't have a burner switch, as you called it, with the Sewer, where you could kick the dynamics because you're going real quiet, loud, real fast.
Yeah, no, I just like my stock guitars from PRS, man. They sound great right out of the case. They all play the exact same. Mm-hmm. Like, we barely have to set these things up once we get them just straight from the factory. So.
Makes John's job easy.
Makes Johnny's job. I try to make Johnny's job as easy as possible.
Perfect. Perfect, man.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you do or require of Johnny for like a setup in terms of like action? Like, do you like a high, low, medium? Do you like to fight with the guitar?
I'm not a fussy guy.
Okay.
Like, I can play high action, I can play low action, just as long as it doesn't like buzz on me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get the buzz like on the first frets or maybe high, but these ones, they don't do that. So
Cool.
as long as they don't do that, I'm fine to play whatever.
Pretty easy going.
Yeah, man.
And to go back to it, how do you make those dynamic changes real fast now, since you don't have that switch to go from loud to quiet, distorted to clean? Are you using the volume knob, or do you have volume?
I do all my automation and stuff through the Kemper.
Okay.
So my dirty signal through the Kemper, I mean, we recorded all of it real amps. Like,
Yeah.
we own the amps.
Yep.
We're not the guys that are like, hey, you want to toss me some of your Kemper tones? And, this is for free.
Yeah, right.
But we own, like, I think between me and Neal, we own like 35 guitar like just heads.
Damn.
So when we were at the blasting room in Colorado, recording with Bill Stevenson, We just did impulses on all the cabs there, and my dirty tone was a JCM 800 with a TS9 tube screamer in front of it, and then to kind of get the little more metally stuff, it was like 5153. So it was both of those amps through two Bogner 412s, and so we did that impulse, and then all my clean stuff was on this guy called Toneville.
Okay.
He's out of Colorado Springs. He's got a thing called a Broadway that's kind of like an AC30-ish
Okay.
clean tone that I really liked, and that was all on the record, so I have that as my clean. And I just switch it.
They have like really cool designs, like the
It's
Toneville
like a
amps.
wooden
looks like
box.
almost like a TV, like the
Yeah,
old,
like
old
an
TV
old
set.
like retro TV set.
Yeah.
And it's made out of like just really nice, beautiful wood, and they look really awesome. And so yeah, we have a couple of those. We have like I said, we have the Broadway, and then we have the Beale Street.
What about, do you know if you had any impulses for I know that for a long time you were using the custom audio OD100?
Yeah, yep. I haven't done my head, but there's already a OD100
Oh, okay.
on there. That actually sounds pretty good, but I haven't compared it to my head at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna go through all of our heads and impulse all of them at some point in time.
You should take it to like a guitar store sometime and just like be like, let me check out this amp, and like kind of just have like the Kemper behind it, and just like,
That's the thing, though, man. I don't want to.
you don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But you're not using your effects through the Kemper. I mean,
I'm not,
you're
no.
using your own standalone pedals.
Yeah. Yep. I've always used pedals, like a ton of pedals, and I've had Bradshaw rigs when I would use tube heads and stuff a lot. And so I just kept the pedals. I was like, well, why mess with the Kemper effects? I know the Kemper effects are great, but I already have the stuff, so.
And they mesh real well, the digital technology of the Kemper and the, I see you have a Strymon, so that's of course more digital, but I'm sure you have some analog pedals in there. They play nicely together?
Yeah. It's all really good. I mean, I've always been a guy that just plays his effects in the front anyways.
Okay.
I never really put anything through the effects loops. So for me, it didn't really change when I switched to the Kemper.
And what pedals are you running through that you got on the rack there?
I got the Strymon Timeline. I got the Analog Man Prince of Tone. For sometimes I'll play on the Toneville Broadway and just need like a little bit of crunch, so I'll have that on.
Almost like a top boost for the AC.
Yep. And then there's a drop pedal in there, but I don't even use it. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have a? I know
why
whammy used to be a part of your signal.
I think we tried it out for a show, and it didn't work, and it's just stayed in there for some reason. So
it's along for the ride now.
Yeah, it's there for the long. And then I got a Hall of Fame reverb. I got I believe it's a Velvet Minotaur. Made by a guy in Greece. It's got that clown thing going for it, where you don't have to pay $3,000. So that's good. And then I got an old Boss flanger.
What's that get used for? The flanger?
To be honest with you, it's just for stuff in between songs.
Okay, just
like we'll
soundscape stuff.
We'll just kind of do that, and then I'll do the flanger, and I have a lot of stuff actually that's just for fun. Like my wah-wah pedal, I only use that for sound check, like playing Metallica songs. Like that's it.
So you're Kirk.
Yeah.
And then Neil will be James. Okay.
Yeah. So that's literally the only reason that it's on there.
Which is good though, man. It's all about having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to keep John on his toes. So is there any other guitars that you want to show us just offhand?
John, let's show him.
I know that you probably got all custom 24s, but okay.
Yep. And I got one of the PRS baritones too.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, he's changing the strings on it.
He's doing his job.
Look at that. Yeah.
Here you go.
This is the other custom one that we did with them.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is kind of like a kind of Arctic blue sparkle.
Man, it's beautiful.
I guess.
It's kind of got like that Dave Grohl Pelham blue vibe.
Kinda, yeah.
Just in the pink color.
I just thought it was a really pretty color.
I really like how the chrome comes off on the blue.
Yeah. And I like that they write everything in hand.
Yeah.
Like by hand. I think that's like all the serial numbers, and they got like custom built for Kevin Skaff, like written.
That's
in
pretty
pen,
cool,
which is
man.
Pretty awesome. I forgot to show you, but on the polka dot one, like Paul actually signed it.
Oh,
like
cool.
on the back, which is cool. Paul's a really nice guy, so.
And I imagine this one's pretty similar to the last one.
This one's similar, minus obviously the humbuckers are covered on this one, and then we got the F-hole just for the semi-hollow. Just gives it, I just wanted a little bit of flavor.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So that's the other custom one, and then the rest are just normal 10-top custom 24s. And then we are playing an SE baritone. You want to grab the baritone, John?
Is this just an SE, or is this like the Tremonti or the Mike?
No, this is just a normal SE.
Okay.
Like, I know they've done the Stain, like Mike Newshock one and stuff, but this is just the normal one that they just put out, like, not even a year ago. And I just changed the pickups in it, really, is all I did.
What you got in there now?
I used to have the Alpha Omegas. Now I have the bare knuckle that I had in my old Gibson Explorer baritone. It was like the silver burst that they produced in like 2011.
Damn.
I had this bare knuckle on that for forever, and so I was like, just going back to the old trusty.
Yeah, because you know where it kind of sits and it sounds.
Yeah.
What songs are you bringing the baritone out for?
This is on Paranoia, Mr. Highway's Thinking About the End, Better Off This Way, and Exposed.
Cool.
So it gets its use.
Yeah.
And it holds up, man. And like, you know, people always think, oh, SE's like, it's gonna be like a crappier version or something. It's not. They play so well, and I actually really like the SEs too, and the S2s. So
yeah, they're beautiful.
It's just all quality. It's all quality stuff. Well, let's show them the acoustic.
What's the acoustic get brought out for?
We have a song called "If It Means a Lot to You," which is actually like our best-selling song, which is funny for a metal band.
Yeah.
Metal pop-punk
it's like,
band.
yeah.
But yeah, so we use this. Actually, this is my backup. My main acoustic was left out in the rain by an unknown airline company, and
Jesus,
right here, it was all just cracked and unplayable, which really sucked too, because I had that Martin custom made for me. It was a 0042 Marquee, but with a low pro neck and electronics, which is just a couple of things that are different from a Marquee.
Yeah, what did you like about that setup, having the different neck on it?
I just have like kind of smaller hands. So instead of having the rounded with like the V in the back like the Marquees do, it just fit my hand a little better.
Right on.
And funny actually story about that guitar is while it was being built, they had the body done for it and it was almost finished, and they called me and they go, hey, we're really sorry, but it's going to be another 7 months till we can get you your guitar. Eric Clapton's going out on tour and we had to build him guitars and your body fit his spec. So we had to give it to Eric.
Eric has your guitar.
Eric Clapton has my guitar and I want it back. Dude.
I feel like that might not happen.
No, it's not. It's never going to happen. It's okay, Eric, keep it.
It's Kevin's gift for you, man.
It's my present to you, buddy. But yeah, so this was my backup. This is a OM28 with Madagascar rosewood back and sides.
It's beautiful.
I love this guitar.
Well, hopefully that unnamed airline doesn't do that to you a second time.
I hope not. This one's starting to feel it from all the travel. Like the binding's starting to come up, so we just got to get that re-glued.
See, I figured that was custom from the factory.
I want custom black tape.
I don't want
I only want the finest.
I don't want my wood to be sealed with glue.
Exactly. I only want the finest gaff tape you have.
Dude, so, Kevin, I appreciate this, man.
Hey, thank you.
Killer.
Appreciate it, man.
Another rig rundown, guys.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.